We've all been there. All of us have procrastinated on something in our lives. Some of those tasks are trivial and some are important. If there is one thing I am sure of at this very moment is that you are a procrastinator or have procrastinated on something. And that's what compelled you to click this video. You're curious to know what's inside the mind of a true procrastinator. First, it's important to have a clear definition of the word procrastination, as it's often confused with laziness. Procrastination is a willful delay of an activity that we need to do, despite knowing the bad consequences. Now that we know what procrastination means, let's go on a deep dive inside our brains. There is a conflict happening between the two parts of our brain when we procrastinate. It's the battle between our limbic system and our prefrontal cortex. The limbic system is one of the oldest portions of our brain. It is involved in our fight or flight responses. Imagine being alone at night in your house. You're just chilling, and suddenly you hear an unusual noise behind the door. The automatic response for you is to be startled. Of course, no one's at home and you're all by yourself. Or you will be brave enough to find out where that sound came from. It's either you fight, flight, or freeze. That's your limbic system in action. It's an important part of our brain because it protects us from danger and we need it for survival. For the last thousands of years, it has been an essential part of our brain that keeps us away from what we perceive as threats. The prefrontal cortex, on the other hand, is what makes us rational decision makers, expressing our personality and other things that separate us from animals. However, it is less developed and relatively new. It's funny that we put things off even though we know that it could harm us. But did you know that procrastination is a result of our body trying to protect us? When you know that you have to finish that big presentation or study for final exams, your brain will respond as it would to any kind of threat, like a bear encounter or an angry dog on the street. The limbic system overpowers the prefrontal cortex, and your brain will trigger the fight, flight, or freeze response. That will lead you to choose an easier task instead of doing the task your brain perceives as a threat. Okay, think of it this way. In our everyday lives, we're not alone. We have two advisors with us all the time. I mean, all the freaking time, even when we're taking a shower. These two help us make decisions. Here's Rational Ray. He knows what's good for you. He can envision the future possibilities of your life and can plan a strategy for a certain goal to be achievable. He helps you make rational decisions in your life so that you can do productive things because, as I said, he knows what's good for you. And here's Pleasure Polly. He likes to fool around. He's addicted to what feels good. For him, it's always play, play, and play. He has different creative ways of convincing you to do fun things. He's not a big fan of cleaning your room, washing the dishes, or any kind of boring responsibilities. He doesn't care about the future. He only cares about the present, what's fun and easy. As you might have noticed, there's a big difference between what these two advisors want you to do. These two have a constant battle against each other, and whatever we end up doing is a result of their influence to our actions. Oh, right! It's a perfect time to work on that logo design because we have a brand identity to present to a client next week. Oh, and don't forget to read a few pages of this book you started 2 months ago because you have more to read on your shelf. Oh yeah. Hold up! Maybe you should check your phone to see if David texted you about that party. Oh, yeah. Oh, and see if Mr. Beast posted a new video. Isn't that amazing? Now let's check the stock prices of TSX and Nasdaq so you know when to sell. Oh yeah. Bro, what about the logo project? Nah, this is more important. Let's appreciate how well designed this book is. Okay, can we do the project now? It's late and I'm tired. So Rational Ray know what's good for you, while Pleasure Polly likes what feels good. The problem is, what feels good doesn't always means it's good for you. When you end up doing Pleasure Polly's advice, he takes you to this place we will call the Instant Gratification Park. This is where all the fun stuff happens. Procrastinators like you and me know this place very well. It's our favorite place to go to when we have tasks to do. It is where you end up watching a whole playlist of cat videos on YouTube while thinking about what new recipe to try, even if you're not really into cooking. After a couple of minutes of thinking, you will then browse the latest trendy clothes and bags that you're not gonna buy anyway and end up playing Fortnite. It's a place full of fun and easy activities. But at the same time, it is a place where you feel that guilt, fear for the future, and despise yourself while doing those activities. Meanwhile, there is a place called Productivity Haven, a place you're in every time you carry out Rational Ray's laid out plans for you. It is a less pleasurable place, but this is where the goal-driven activities happen. Every time you're in this place, you feel a sense of direction and accountability for your own life. It makes you feel more motivated to face challenges. We know by now that Productivity Haven is the place to be, but it is a struggle for most of us to be in this place. We live in a world full of distractions, and most of the time, Pleasure Polly always wins, taking us to Instant Gratification Park and staying there for long periods of time. It's fun to be there, but the long-term consequences usually are not that great. We have a brain that is wired to prefer the instant reward. Procrastination is our present self saying, I want to feel good right now. So we delay the things that really matter despite knowing that it's not gonna do us any good. And the things that we are procrastinating on aren't just about deadline-based things. Some of them don't require deadlines, which don't give a sense of urgency, so we delay them. Like spending time with our family, saying how much we love them, exercising, eating well, talking to that cute girl, or saying sorry to someone we hurt. This kind of long-term procrastination can put so much weight in your inner core that could make you feel unhappy and regretful. I know that deep inside of us, we know what's good for us. It is our job to take control of our life and not be swayed by Pleasure Polly all the time. I'm not saying to completely not to do the fun things. I think that we need them. We just need to find the right balance. It's more important to do the things that make sense for us, the things that really matter, things that will take us where we want to be, to reach our full potential. This is a life calendar. The average life expectancy of humans nowadays is 80 years. Each box represents a week of an 80-year life. One row is equivalent to a year. I bet at this point, we have already used a lot of those boxes, and we don't even know if we will reach or live past 80. I am giving this for free as a downloadable file. Link in the description below as my thank you gift for reaching 100 subscribers. I also included Seneca's quote. He's a Stoic philosopher, as I think it's a nice touch. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. I urge you to print this. Frame it if you want. Put somewhere where you'll see it all the time. And shade the boxes you have used. Every time you procrastinate on something, take a look at your life calendar and let this be a reminder for you to live your life to the fullest and not delay things that matter before you run out of time. Because the last thing you want to feel is regret. Procrastination and laziness are two different things. And in this video, we will talk about those reasons and they might surprise you. Again, I thank everyone who appreciates the content I put out there. It really means a lot to me. And as far as the future of this channel, there will be more in the future. And it will all be about bettering ourselves. We're all human beings. We make mistakes. And I think that self-awareness is the key for us to live a good life. I thank you again for being part of the few, and I'll see you on the next one.